Alright folks, here we are. Mange HD on Twitch. What's going on, buddy? So we are all set up here. It's gonna be kind of a short stream today. Really all I'm focusing on, or I want to focus on, is getting this Preonic done. This is with the Tealios that you had seen me, if you had been watching my stream the other day. These are the Tealios linear switches that I had put into a Nyquist build, but something was wrong with the Nyquist and I don't really have time to figure it out. So I desoldered all the switches and I put them in here. So I actually had to, because of the way the Nyquist is built, it's lagging on your end? I don't know. It might be. It's hard to say. What's lagging? The sound lagging, or is the video lagging? But so because the Nyquist is a left-hand, right-hand board with that flops the PCB, I had to open up all these switches here and turn the LEDs in the other direction, because that's how that board is built. It's designed to do that. So that's what I ended up doing. So they're all swapped and flipped back around again. I had to, just to be safe, I re-lubed a few of them that I opened up because they did weird shit. And one felt scratchy, so I re-lubed it. And I soldered the top row just to make sure that the LEDs were placed in the correct direction. They are placed in the correct direction, so we are ready to go. The sound is really wonky. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Is it doing it on YouTube or just on Twitch? Baxter Curry on YouTube. Waves. What's up, man? How you doing? Kidney on Twitch. Atari, I should pick up those Ice V2 clear tops. Maybe? I don't know. I don't do a lot of switch modding, as Mange would testify. I don't do a ton of switch modding. The most I do is just lubing, and that's pretty much it. But one other thing that I'm doing today is, see these little blue bags here? See this huge bin of these blue bags? These are going with me to the Seattle Keyboard Meetup this weekend. The Seattle Keyboard Meetup, I'm giving a talk there, and obviously there's going to be a bunch of cool keyboards. But what I'm doing is I'm taking my B-stock keycaps, my B-stock artisan keycaps, and they are going into these little blue baggies, and I will be giving them away at the meetup. So I'm just going to have a backpack with me that's just stuffed full of these little blue baggies, and if you see me at the meetup, you might get one. But not all of them. Not all of them are going to be these SA. Not all of them are going to be SA keycaps. Some of them will be my Tentacle Artisan keycaps. So there'll be a few of them that are just like that. So just put that in there. There we go. So someone will get one of those. Yeah, Mange, maybe try to shift F5 on your keyboard and reload the entire page. Recache it, I should say. I mean, look at that. Some of these keycaps, I really like the way that some of these turned out. But again, this is B stock, so usually there's some minor thing on it that didn't please me, and so I'm putting it up for putting them in as B stock. But I'll be doing some of that this afternoon, just packing these little baggies up and getting those ready to go. So one other thing that I wanted to say real quick, besides talking about the Seattle meetup before we start, is that I now have a Discord channel. So let me get you the link to that. I'm going to go ahead and post that for those of you who might not already be on it. There's the link to my Discord channel. And that's the so that's going to be my official Atari Zero keyboard enthusiast. What is Despacito 2 channel there for y'all to hang out, chat, ask questions about keyboard stuff, things like that. And I'll also be doing like store announcements and stuff once I get my store going, and then posting pictures of the keycaps that I've made. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Let's get this party started. Oh, I might be doing some resin casting today. I wanted to do a Seattle keyboard meetup exclusive tentacle keycap. So I might do that as well. I haven't quite decided. Turn my soldering iron on. So yeah, I don't know what was up the Nyquist. The Nyquist was messed up. Key of Night says, wait, what's going on here? Did I fall in love with linears? Key of Night, no, I did not. What ended up happening was the Nyquist build that you watched me do the other day, there was something really wrong with it. The far left and far right rows on it. So the far left row on the left hand side and the far right row on the right hand side didn't work. And what was happening was it would work only if I pressed another key. So if I pressed like T or something and then held down Shift, it would work. But then it was really bizarre. So I could hold down Shift and then hit T and it would give me a capital T. But then if I let go of the T, it would just keep typing capital T, even though I only had Shift held down. So there's something weird going on with it there. And I tried a bunch of different stuff and I just didn't, it really made me mad. So I figured rather than just staying angry at it and trying to figure it out, because I mean I tried a bunch of different stuff and nothing seemed to work. So rather than trying to figure it out, I just desoldered all the switches that, I mean I spent 4.5 hours yesterday desoldering switches, because I do have a desoldering gun. I've got this Hakko desoldering gun, but even so, it still takes a long time to desolder that many switches. And there were some issues with the desoldering gun. It kept getting clogged. I think I have it figured out now. But yeah. Lots and lots and lots of desoldering. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this. Soldering iron's all heated up. And yeah, so I got to give a shout out to my boy Mange HD. He set up my Discord channel, which was really nice of him. So now I've got my Discord channel going. You guys can join that channel, ask questions and stuff there. I was primarily being more active on the One-Up Keyboards Discord channel, and I still will be. But since I'm kind of going my own way and doing my own stuff, I didn't want to be posting stuff about my sales and my store on the oneupkeyboards.com Discord channel, just because I don't know, it's not my channel, and it started feeling kind of rude. Even though I do work, with Pete, Ski with Pete, who is the owner of oneupkeyboards.com. Even though I do work with him on a few different things, I have a couple projects that I'm working on with him right now. It just still felt like I should have my own thing. Separation of the two, and that is all fine. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and solder these in. We're gonna put the GMK laser key on here. I actually put them on what I call my Cadillac board upstairs in my studio, or in my computer room, and that is my Preonic with, it's the Massdrop Rev 2 Preonic with Hakko Royal Clears, which are an insanely tactile switch, very similar to the Box Royal, but it has it's not as sharp. It's not as sharp as of a bump, and doesn't have the same kind of what I call collapsing feel that the box Royals do. So it still has a very, very sharp tactile bump, but it's not as sharp of a drop at the end of it. So it's pretty nice. I like those switches quite a bit. They're very heavy though. They're much heavier than I expected them to be. It's going to be fun to try out a bunch of different boards and switches at the meetup. Last meetup I went to, which was last year, I was still very new to the hobby. I think I had 3 boards at the time. No, 4. I had 4 boards at the time. I had my GH60 Satan. I had my Gone Nerd TKL. The Future War Cult board. What else did I have? I had a Clue board and one other thing. I can't remember what the other board was at the time. Oh, and my Preonic. But I was still pretty new to the entire community, so you know, I was trying out different switches and stuff, and I really didn't know which ones I liked that much. Baxt14 says, I'm almost done with my Ergo Clear switches. I've got 60 out of 75, and I'm waiting on some more lube. Yeah, are you, you're just going through and just lubing the houses and stuff? The housings? Mange has gotten me into the lubing game. Again, I do think it helps quite a bit, but I don't know if I would do it on every single switch that I own, to be honest. Because I think stock Tealios are still pretty good as they are, and I am just inherently lazy, and so for me, lubing all those switches, like lubing every single part of every single switch, would just absolutely annoy the crap out of me. Baxt, Mange is saying, oh yeah, Baxt14, you were saying that you were going to do that. You were going to dye the housings. I remember you telling me that. How did that end up turning out? I'd seen pictures of someone who had done that in the past, and they look really cool. He dyed them teal. Well, the dye he used was like a dark blue, but the housings turned out teal, I should say. A clear, like a translucent teal. It's pretty cool. Definitely an interesting idea. Yeah, please put a picture in the Discord server. But Mange is saying that you should lube the top housings. He said to lube the top housings. So I was skeptical about the whole idea of lubing the top housing until I did it with these Tealios, and it definitely makes a difference. It quiets the return stroke, which has never really bothered me, so it's not that big of a deal. But with the way that Tealios are so quiet to begin with, it just kind of makes them that much more quiet. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm not one of those people that's trying to make my keyboard absolutely 100% silent, because I like tactility, and tactile switches are never going to be quiet. So, I mean, you can get the Xylants and stuff, but they're really expensive. Bax14, it cushions the plastic when it hits the top housing. It muffles the top housing. Sorry, the return stroke action. It muffles that action when the slider hits the top housing, so it keeps it pretty silent. And actually, you can hear. I can show you a difference, sound difference here, if you want to hear what it's like. This is an unlubed switch. This is an unlubed Tealio, a Tealio. Hear that? That click as it comes up. Now this is a lubed one. Putting the same pressure. So here we go. Try it side by side. Unlubed. Lubed. Unlubed. Lubed. It makes a big difference. Okay, so we're on row 3 now, so we're getting pretty close. This is going much faster than usual. Yeah, Bax14 says he did the same thing with the silent blacks. He lubed the top of the stem where it hits the housing on the return. And yeah, that's the same thing. That's yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because that's basically what it's doing. Same thing as lubing the stem. I haven't gotten into the whole lubing the stems thing yet. That's another level of maniacal lubing that I don't really know if I need to do. Not only maniacal, but also extremely time consuming. I know that there's the bag method where you just like flop them around in a bag, but you know, I use tactiles, and the consensus on lubing sliders is do not lube tactile sliders, because you lose a bunch of the tactility when you do that. So I will not be lubing my Tealios sliders. Okay. Yeah, so once we get this soldered up and put the keycaps on it, I'll probably do one resin casting, tentacle resin casting, and then we'll call it a day. I still have a bunch more stuff I need to do for the meetup. I haven't even made my slideshow for my talk. I'm gonna try to stream my talk, you guys, but it's hard to say whether or not it's actually gonna work. Mainly because they don't have a they're not sure if they're gonna have access to the soundboard. So if they don't have access to the soundboard, there's really nothing I can do. I'm gonna try though. Victor Alpert, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. It's going pretty good. Just going through and putting these Tealios back in this Preonic board. Unfortunately, my Nyquist did not work properly. I have no idea what was wrong with it, and I just don't really have the time or patience to figure it out. It could have been so many different things. It could have been the, you know, it could have been the configuration. It could be a diode. I actually rechecked all my diodes, and they're all wired perfectly fine. They're all lined up the correct way. They're all soldered in, so I have no idea what's wrong with that board. I was worried maybe I missed a diode or something, but yeah, I double-checked everything, and everything is there. So I'll probably have to contact Baking Pie, who's the guy who makes those boards, and see what he has to say about it. He might be able to figure it out. But I'll probably just replace the switches in them with something else. I have a ton of other switches that I can use, that I can test out on it. I've got, well, I have a ton of box navy. I'm actually thinking about giving away a bag of box navies at the meetup, because I have so many. And I like them, but their use cases are so small, for me anyway, that I actually don't think I'm going to keep them around. I do really like them though, because depending on where I want to use that keyboard, like I can't use it at the office, and I have other boards that I want to use at home. So it just became, they're fun to type on, but they're just too loud. That's basically what I'm getting at. Kidney is asking, have I checked any of the keycaps yet that are on your box switches? Yeah, I haven't had any problems with them. The growing consensus amongst people having issues with the box switches is that it only seems to be affecting Cherry, GMK, Cherry keycaps that's having issues with the box switches, and only with the newer releases of box switches. So it so like my box navies were from the batches that were not affected. But I don't know. I haven't had any issues with them, so I'm not really sure. It does worry me though, because I have my GMK laser on those on the Royal Clears, the Hako Royal Clears. So it does, worry me a bit, because I've been waiting a year for that set, and if any of those get cracked, I am not going to be happy. I don't even know. I mean, like, I don't know if it's something that, I'd be able to tell if it does it over time, or if it's something that, if they crack like pretty much immediately upon putting them into the switch. I'm not sure. I haven't really read too much into it. Because if it cracks over time, that means that I should get those switches off there immediately, or those keycaps off there immediately. But I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard that was the case. Most of the posts you read, it was after a few months. Victor Alpert's asking if there's any suggestions on a cheap board to build. So, Victor, I am not sure. It depends on what you're looking for, like what size of board you're looking for. The cheaper boards right now that you can get are like 40% and 60%. Those tend to be the cheaper ones because there's a lot less switches. So I would recommend maybe going with a 50 or a 40 or a 60 or a 65% board. I would say go with well, the GH60 Satan is a pretty well designed board, and it's pretty cheap. There's a lot of really low priced stuff you can get for it. If you go to oneupkeyboards.com, which is you can go into like their keyboard kits, and if you look at the LJD61 up kits, I think the cheapest one on there is the stainless steel, maybe? Yeah. The cheapest one on there is the stainless steel kit for the LJD61 up, and it's, I think it comes to 105. Or no, 140. Because it has, you can get the different like PCBs. There's like an RGB underglow PCB, that you can get for that. So that's one of the cheaper ones that I know of that you can build yourself. There are other ones that are cheaper, I think. I'm trying to think, the JD40 is a little bit cheaper. Yeah, the JD40, which is a 40%. I don't know if you know the difference between the sizes, but yeah, that one is 120. Yeah, and Victor, if you look at the One Up Keyboards YouTube channel, that's Ski with Pete, the Ski with Pete channel, he has some builds that he's done on all of those different boards, so you can see what they're like, what they look like. So those are pretty good. I don't use staggered layout boards though, so I'm not the best. I'm not gonna be able to give the best advice on what board to use. It's probably, I mean, it's a lot of it's up to personal preference, but me personally, I use ortholinears, and the Preonic is my absolute favorite of all of them, which is why I have 5 of them. And speaking of which, Massdrop Preonic Rev 3 Preonic is up on sale right now. I have actually not purchased one yet. I was kind of waiting for a few things to come through, and they did. So I think I'm going to buy one today. And by buy one, I mean sign up for the group buy, because they will not be released until, the estimate is March of next year, I think. I think that's when they're planning for them to come in. And that's because of the whole like FCC, stuff that they have to do, which I'm glad that they are putting that timeline in there. Like, I'm not glad that it's going to take so long, because that is just going to take just a long freaking time to wait for a keyboard. So I'm not happy that it's going to take so long, but I'm happy that they made the estimates long, so they are acknowledging the fact that there's a good chance that they're going to get held up by the FCC licensing and all that stuff. And yeah, Victor, I agree. The Preonic looks really good, but yeah, it's a super long wait. But I own 5 of them. I know how good they are, and if it's anything similar to the Massdrop Preonic build, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And the hot swaps thing, that's really cool. I'm glad that they're going with hot swap. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize about both the Planck Rev 6 and the Preonic, is that they're going to come with hot swap sockets to begin with, like just right out the box. But also, they are going to have support for RGB with a daughter board, which means that there's going to be another circuit board you can attach to the PCB, and it's going to sit under the board, and you'll be able to do fully addressable per key RGB LED lighting. So that means every key can have its own color if you want. So that is super freaking cool. I'm looking forward to trying that out. Okay, everything is soldered. We got everything soldered in place, so let's go ahead and plug this thing in and do a test. Oh, all the LEDs are nice and bright. Look at how bright that is. So nice. All right, so the LEDs are lit up. That's one good sign. So let's go ahead and do a test real quick. Got to get trustykeyboardtester.com. No keycaps on it. This is kind of funny, but yep, it looks like that row works. Excellent. Control Windows key. All right, let's see. There we go. Everything works. Nice. So we just put the back side on there, and we are done with this one. And this is the Preonic. This is the EOTW, the Easy on the Wallet Preonic. So it comes with this really cool case. So that's pretty cool. One of these days, maybe I'll have one of these cases. Maybe I will design one, and everybody will say, "Oh, Tari, it's so beautiful." And that's exactly how they're going to say it, too. Oh, there we are. I was looking for the screws for this board. So what do y'all got going on today? Oh, we are done with this, so I can turn this off. So yeah, I actually, I took today off. I was on a work visit in Ohio this last week, and so I didn't get like pretty much any of like personal business kind of stuff done. You know, you can't really do personal stuff when you're on a work visit, especially when you are 2,500 miles away from your house. So this last week I've just been struggling to get all my personal stuff done, as well as, you know, getting ready for this keyboard meetup that I got going on tomorrow. So I really haven't spent a lot of time doing like chores around the house and all that kind of stuff. So today was going to be that, or is going to be that day to get those things done. But I also wanted to get this keyboard ready. I wish that really wish that Nyquist had been functional. It's weird. Someone calling me. But I don't want to talk to them. Mage's been playing RuneScape all day. Ugh. RuneScape was a little bit after my time. It got popular when I was like already in college. And I was playing EverQuest at the time, I believe. So Victor, you said you just finished your first 60% build, and so far you're loving the Switch. Yeah. So what build did you make? What keyboard did you end up making? We are almost done. God, it's just they're so quiet. It's really weird. Again, I'm not really sure I'm convinced that I like linears. Just trying to make sure these are all like... Because I had to open the housings on some of these, I'm a little worried that the lube may have gotten disturbed. But it sounds like they're all fine. Face W with box pale blues, super duper clicky, yeah. Victor, that's what these are. These are box pale blue. Yeah, this was the first, this was actually the first split build that I made. And So this is the Viterbi, and I kind of like it, but the fact that it had this extra row on the side really threw me off when I was trying to use it. So that's why I don't use it. Yeah. No, Victor, it's a Viterbi. A Let's Split, so the thing with Let's Split, and the same thing with mitosis, Let's Split and mitosis are based on the plank, so they don't have a number row, and I got to have that number row. I've tried doing it without the number row. I don't like it. Yeah, Victor, I had high hopes for the Nyquist. I really, really did. Because it's the Preonic layout, but split. But yeah, it just... something's up with that, with those rows, and I can't figure out what it is. And I don't know, like I said, I don't really know if it's a hardware problem or a config problem. It's too hard to tell. Because everything seems to be written out fine in the config files. I double-checked everything. And screw that screwdriver. I want to use this one. Yeah, I checked out the config files. Everything seems to match up fine. But, yeah, it just didn't work. Like I said, I'll probably end up contacting Baking Pie and kind of laying out the situation for him. And maybe he can give me some advice. But I even flashed it with the default hex file, and even with the default hex file, it still was really wonky. So something going on there. And because the default hex file was also acting weird, I have a strong feeling that it has something to do with the hardware somewhere. So it could be the Pro Micros, but if it was the Pro Micros, it wouldn't be. It would only. I would assume that it would only affect one side. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I was able to think of that could do it would be a diode or something that was loose or not soldered on correctly or something like that. Because the behavior is like, it's like the so the way that the whole thing works is you get, when it's doing the when it's sending the signal across the matrix, that whole side doesn't work, but then when you press another key, it does work, which means that it's passing through somewhere. It sounds kind of like a short, actually. Now that I think about it, it could just be a short in the board. But again, I looked through everything and it didn't seem like anything was shorted. So it could be that I'm just missing it. But yeah, if I think I still have the PCBs are over here. So yeah, I looked at all the spots where things could touch. And I don't see anywhere that I could be causing a short. Yeah, because all the soldering points are all clean. Everything's fine. Everything's clipped. It's just really, really weird. Yeah, I don't know. Too hard to say. So I think eventually I'm gonna put some other switches in this and try again. I haven't decided what switches I want to put in it yet. Probably I might do box royals on this because I still have a bunch of box royals. Victor, so I use the Preonic, and I love the Preonic because it has all the keys I need. And I say this all the time, so it's pretty much like a meme for me. But it has all the keys I need and none of the keys I don't. So the plank, which is very similar to this board, the plank is, it just doesn't have like one row basically, so it's 4, like this. It doesn't have, since it doesn't have the number row, you end up having to map the number row to the top letters, to your QWERTY row. And I didn't like that. So that's why I went away from it. All right, so now we got keycaps we can put on. So yeah, Victor, I would say Preonic is my #1 choice. They are completely out of stock right now because he is doing Rev 3 of the Preonic, and they haven't been produced yet. So you won't be able to get those just yet, but they will be in eventually. So for now, you're probably going to just have to stick with... Oh, crap, I forgot to bring a 2-unit spacebar. I need a 2-unit Cherry spacebar. All those keys are upstairs, so I'm going to have to run upstairs to grab it. But we'll get to that. Yeah, Tobias Gustafson, that's kind of like how I felt as well. Like I was able to do some stuff, but I actually work in IT. Like, I'm a programmer and project manager for my company, and the problem I had was not having the number row a lot of times for like programming made things very difficult for me. And then also, you know, as an IT manager, I have to do a lot of passwords, like really ridiculously complex passwords. And that was a major issue for me. So the whole problem with the complex passwords, you know, was just that I'm having to type numbers, letters, and symbols and stuff. It just it got to be so annoying trying to remember, like, okay, wait, now I got to press this key and then hit this and then unhit that, and it got to be too much. Especially when you're doing, like, you know, if you're doing a symbol that's attached to a number, having to, you know, hit like layer, shift, and then that symbol. But if you're in the middle of typing a password, it'd be like, let's say, lowercase L or something, and then uppercase T, and then, you know, @sign. It just, yeah, it was infuriating. And so I ended up making a bunch of mistakes on the passwords and stuff, and it just took forever. So dedicated symbols, or sorry, dedicated numbers, so I can have dedicated symbols is really important. Wait, no, it's this one. And GMK laser, I really like it. I think it looks really good, but the only thing I don't like about it, so because I do have some qualms with it, and that is that there aren't enough, and this is just a Cherry, this is a problem with Cherry in general, because of the fact that it's, you know, it has different rows, the sculpt has all the different rows, that it's very difficult for, you know, creating new or interesting layouts that aren't like a standard layout. Like mine is not a standard ortholinear layout. So for me, the standard ortholinear layout, I believe, has enter. I think enter is down here. Yeah, I think it's enter down here. So some of this stuff is standard for me. So tab and escape, this is pretty common for orthos, and same with shift. So this row is fine, but then this row, this is actually my pipe slash key. So that's pipe and slash. This is backspace, obviously. This is enter, and this is quotes. And since they don't exist on this row, and so I wasn't able to use any of those, so I ended up having to make do, just kind of using whatever keycaps I had available. Which, I don't know. It's whatever. You know, it's not the end of the world. Oh, whoops, and I put this keycap in the wrong place. So guys, we got 12 viewers. We've been streaming for about an hour now. Just finishing up this last piece here. And then we're gonna do a resin cast. And then I am done for the day. I need a drink. Some of my drink though. I actually just woke up like an hour and a half ago. And folks, I don't know if you haven't been, you can be on my Discord. That's the link right there. Go ahead and join me on Discord and see how things go. We got a lot of different, a lot of different people up on here. Ooh, Baxter, I'm just now seeing your post there with the dyed switches. That looks freaking cool. Oh, that is neat. Which what switches were those you said? Oh, and you got DSA Drifter too. Nice. Nice. DSA Drifter is fantastic. Dr. Chill asks, how do Tealios feel compared to Reds? To be honest, I can't answer that question. I have never tried Reds, and so I don't really know. I'm actually not a linears person. I'm much more I'm very much into tactiles, and so I decided to get Tealios because I actually did not like linears at all. I tried linears, like, I don't know, probably a year ago, and I just didn't like the feel of them. I missed the feeling of knowing when I pressed the keycap, or when I pressed the key correctly. Whoops, forgot the U. So that was, like, kind of a surprise to me, that I didn't like them that much. But then, I just heard all these praise for Tealios and about how smooth they are, so I decided, okay, I'll give them another chance. Oh, I forgot the Y. Jeez, I am all kinds of backwards today. So I figured, you know what, I'll give linears one more try, and if I'm going to try linears and give them a good fair shake and put them on a board, put the time to, all the time in to make a good board, I figured I'm going to use the best. So, so I did. I went with Tealios, and I fully lubed them, so they have their lubed slides, like the slider part, not the stem, but like the rails and the sides for the stem are lubed, and the top housing is lubed, the spring is lubed. So they are very, very quiet. I can tell you that. And I got to get a 2-unit key here to get for my space bar. So I'm going to have to go get one of those upstairs. Guys, I have so much laser, it's ridiculous. The base kit is freaking huge. Dr. Chill says, I think I'm going to get either get lubed Tealios or GAT yellows. Yeah, I would say, it really depends on, just like with anything else, it depends on your spring weight, that kind of thing. I've heard GAT yellows are really smooth, just because of the Gateron housing, so you're probably good. Obviously, Tealios are going to be There we go. Sound test. Man, these are really nice, to be honest. This is very nice. It feels good. Tobias is asking, do I prefer keycaps with a different row height sculpt to DSA or whatever? So that's a good question. I really like SA. This is the first Cherry set I've owned. So my verdict, you know, the jury is still out on this, on the Cherry set. But I have tons of SA, and they're sculpted SA, so I've typed on sculpted SA and I like it. I also have MT3, which is the Dev TTY set. That's this set right here. You know, so I got Dev TTY, which is sculpted high profile. And I really like this set. I think this one's a very, very pleasing set to type on. And I also have, you know, some OEM stuff, and I have tons and tons of DSA. And because I'm an ortholinear enthusiast, the DSA is like the way to go for me. Key of Night says, "Oh snap, Dev TTY." Yeah, they are really nice. Little Sadness, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I prefer like uniform layers or uniform height because of the fact that it's easier for me as an ortholinear enthusiast to swap things around and not mess up my layout and not mess up the rows and stuff. But it's not everything, you know? It's not everything. And actually, so this is what I was talking about, and one of the issues I have with this, the Cherry stuff, is that there weren't enough keycaps for me. Like, there wasn't a single unit backspace at all. So I got this, and then I had to use these two because I didn't have a pipe character for this. And this is row 2, and this is row 3, and so row 2 and row 3, one unit, row 2 and row 3 keycaps are scarce in the base set for Cherry. So that was kind of annoying. I ended up having to use these two things for my novelties set. If I hadn't bought the novelties set, I would not have been able to use these two keys, and I would have had to use something weird. On the board upstairs, I ended up using, this one is, I think this is minus and this is plus from the numpad. So it was kind of annoying, you know, to realize like, oh, okay, that's what I have to do. But, you know, the fact that it's GMK laser, just that kind of, I don't know, made me feel better about it, I guess I should say. But yeah. Here's GMK laser. I'm going to go ahead and turn some of these lights off so you guys can see how cool it looks when it's lit up. Because I think that with that LED in there, GMK laser looks so nice. Here, let's see a little bit. But that's with magenta LEDs. So it's funny because on camera it looks like it's blue, but that's actually, you know, like a bright pink. Very bright pink. Okay, let me go get Little Sadness from Carly. Oh, okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining. You know, I believe Carly's giveaway ends this week. Let me take a look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Carly's giveaway is almost over. And if you guys haven't seen that, 4 days left. Yep. If you guys haven't seen it, this is a giveaway for a keyboard that I made. Let me, So that's a keyboard that I made for my friend Carly. You can check out the Imager. Check out the Imager's album here so you can see, because it's got, I hand painted it and added a fork knife kind of logo to it. And that's she's a Fortnite player. She's a Fortnite streamer, and so yeah, I made this keyboard for her to give away. For some reason, Gleam doesn't work for you. Weird. Oh, Victor, it could... Are you in the States? Also, Gleam will not work, or it will kind of be funky if you have any ad blockers turned on. So I recommend opening up, like, if you're using Chrome, open up an incognito window. I don't know what it's called in Firefox, but that turns off all your plugins, and that should work. I know there were some people who had problems with Gleam because they lived outside of the States. But yeah, ad blockers mess up Gleam because it blocks their JavaScript. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a 2-unit spacebar for this. Hey, buddy. Okay, I'm back. So I got my 2-unit spacebar here. So I'm just going to put this 2-unit spacebar on the keyboard. This is Loki. This is my good boy. You'll hear him on stream all the time. He is a constant source of entertainment. That's for sure. Look, Loki. He's a good boy. Hey, buddy. There we go. 2-unit spacebar. Ooh. That stab needs some lube. Yeah, that definitely needs some lube. Oh, Victor, I'm sorry to hear that. That's really weird. You have an account associated with your email, but then you sign in, it tells you the email is wrong. Yeah, that's really weird. Try sending them an email to see what they say. They might be able to help you out with that, because that's really weird. That sounds like a bug. So I'm just gonna lube these stabs real quick. They're just they're sounding like grabbage. But I gotta be honest with you guys. I gotta be honest with you guys. These linears feel really nice. Definitely a completely different typing experience compared to tactiles, obviously. But like a very good difference. I like the feel. I think that's. I wasn't expecting to like them. And it could just be because I have them completely fully lubed as well. Key of Night says, watching me always gives you Keeb envy. What are you envying about it? What's so envious? What do you, just because I have so many of them, or what? People keep asking me if I'm going to sell any of my keyboards, because apparently I'm what they call a Keeb dragon. I just have a giant horde of keycap or of keys. Ah, yeah, I actually really like these. They feel satisfying. Obviously, there's no tactility. Yeah, obviously there's no tactility to them, but they're. Obviously, when you hit the bottom of it, when you hit the bottom of the housing, there is like that feeling. Hey, Tedford, what's going on, man? So I wanted to show off another board, too. This is my Massdrop Preonic. So, yeah, that's my Massdrop Preonic. This is the Rev 2 Preonic. And it has, this is with the Hako box, Hako Royal Clears. So these are a very tactile switch. This is a cousin of this switch. And these are the Box Royals, which I really like. The best way for me to describe Box Royals is it's like a clicky switch without the click. They feel like a clicky switch. They feel good. But these, I think, feel better. And then these linears, man, I did not think I would like them, but I actually really like these a lot. They feel very, very, very nice. They're so smooth. So I think this is going to be my work board from now on. I was using this at the for work, but yeah, I think it's time for me to swap. Speaking of swaps, I'm considering. Yeah, that's the, this is the Gaijin. These are the Gaijin legends. Albert, yeah, these are Tealios, fully lubed Tealios. So that's, so there we go, that's with the lighting on. So this board is the one that I use on my PC upstairs. And then I'll probably end up taking this one to work because it's nice and quiet. Bax 14, yes, I love laser as well. Actually, so let me ask you guys a question. So I was considering putting a different, like, because I have another set of the so I was actually considering putting these on this set, but I'm kind of liking the uniformity of this one, how it's like a very uniform, like dark blue, not a lot of the accent color, and then making this one the more like wild, wacky, accented, like it's got all the different bells and whistles. What do you think? Should this be the one that has all the accents and stuff like this one? So maybe take these, put them on here, take this, put that there, and then make this one the one that's got all the, like, the crazy pink orange color. What do you think? Which one do you think would look better with it? Because I kind of like how this one's so muted. It's muted, but it has the, you know, the Japanese here. I don't know. It's hard to decide. Key of Night says leave the master drop Preonic. Yeah, I think so too. I think this one is like, because this one has like, there's something about this one that just says like, yeah, this should be like clean. I like how clean this one is. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be. I think I'm going to do it. This one though, I think what I'm going to do is the novelty set came with different colored alphas for the WASD right here. So I think I'm going to swap those out. And then maybe put in some other novelties keys on these sides. And basically just put as many novelties as I can in this. Unfortunately, and this is, again, goes back to my problem with Cherry, all of the novelties keys that, or most of the novelty keys that came with GMK Laser are R1. So me having a number row, I can't really use any of them. I can only use a couple. So that was kind of upsetting because I, don't get to use all the novelties I paid for, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. Yeah, Bax 14, I could swap the numbers out for novelties. I thought about that as well, but I actually, I'm a bad programmer. I actually don't have the number row memorized, where all the different symbols are for like, and star and all that. So I need to memorize where those all are. The one I always forget is caret. So I always forget where caret and like these three, 5, 6, and 7. I always forget where these three symbols are. Because these ones I remember because I use them all the time. But these three I don't use that often. And so I'm always forgetting, like, oh yeah, where is that? So I did think about that. And you know what? Maybe I'll just do it. Let me go get my stuff. I'll be right back. No. Okay. So I told you guys that I have a ton of laser. So look at this. This is an example. I have 2 full boards, right? So I got this board and this board filled with laser. And then I still have this, and this. Like, look at how much laser I've got. It's ridiculous. Just got way more than I thought I would. Which is fine, obviously. I'm okay with that because laser's awesome. Yeah, Shift 6, caret. Okay, so let's go ahead and start kitting this out. So we're going to replace the number row up here with all the novelties. So let's go ahead and start that. And this is my base set. So this is all a bunch of other keys that I'm not using. A ton of them. And I have a whole set of novelties I haven't even opened. So, yeah, this is a whole set of novelties that I haven't even touched. I don't want to open them, though, because I might sell them later on, like, sometime next year or something. So I figured I'm not going to open them yet. I want to see how much I like typing on laser before I decide to make it my number one. Okay, So, I like these two up here, so I'm going to keep those there, I think. Because this kind of reminds me of... Oh, here we go. Let me get this on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Problem is that I can't put all these... Like, the trays are open. There's no top part of the trays. There we go. So, hey Vapey, what's up? Gonna get 1 million in no time. Okay, so this laser, like the laser blast kind of symbol, or like the laser warning symbol, I want to keep there because it just reminds me of backspace, I guess. So I'm gonna keep that there. Maybe I could try to like somewhat match what the symbols look like, and that'll keep me like informed. So I could use the 8 at the actual 8 spot. So like I can put 8 there because I know that's 8. What else? I already have bowl noodle, so I'm not going to use bowl noodle. We can put this looks like the 0, so we'll say that's 0. Oh, no. I'll put that there. This. I'm just kind of putting them in. It's sort of at random, but I'm just coming up with weird places to put things. Top part, yeah, saran wrap. Tobias says I should put saran wrap on top. That's what I was thinking of doing. I just haven't done it yet. And of course, me, I love the Atari joystick symbol there. So I put that in my special slot. But I was actually thinking of replacing it with this one to kind of match all the accented colors I already have going on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll put this in like the 3. There's just so many great caps on here. I want the cassette tape, that one, or rad. What do you think? I like rad. I like the rad one a lot. Okay, so now we're between these ones. What do you think? We got 1 spot left. What should go there? Cassette. Baxter says cassette. So we got 1 vote for cassette. Here, I'll turn them around so you can actually see what they look like, so they're better looking. There we go. I also have a Bitcoin symbol, too. I have this Bitcoin symbol, but I actually don't like Bitcoin, so Bitcoin can fuck itself. Yeah, that's the Robocop OCP symbol. I'm thinking cassette. And then we're going to swap out WASD. For the orange WASD. Oh, it's... Hey, Ted. Dude. It's so freaking colorful. Ethan's gonna throw up in his mouth. I can't wait. There we go. That is a beautiful, clean... Yeah, I like that a lot. It looks fantastic. Yeah, Tobias Gustafson saying that WASD on the workboard is it's more important than you think. I don't want to put it on this board because this one has too much. It looks too good. Baxter says, have I seen DSA Groove? I have. But the problem with DSA Groove is it does not support ortholinear. at all. I'd have to buy like 3 sets to make it support a Preonic, and I'm not cool with that. Taupe Revamp board, yeah. GMK Rainbow. I mean, there's so many different sets that I want to put on here. Seriously, to be honest, I have so many sets, and I'm gonna end up making my own set at some point. I am being completely honest about that. I want to design my own set, and because I want a set that is ortholinear first, and I want to do. I was going to be in DSA, of course, but I just feel like the ortholinear crowd doesn't really get a lot of love, and so I want to design a set for it. So Pyro L said that they had fixed some of the things in it, the 3 page down keys, but that the Kona store page hasn't been updated. Interesting. Anyway, Tobias says, anyway, on Orthos, ESDF is better for gaming? Why would you say that? Why would ASDF be better for gaming? I don't know why. Why is ESDF better than WASD? I don't understand. Is it just a better finger placement? Because, I mean, I've always used, because I like having access to shift here for, like, running and stuff. And then a lot of them are mapped this way, game mapping. Oh, more keys. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, most of the games I play, they only use, like, basically these here. Maybe the G key, but that's about it. Like grenade, crouch, like equipment, that kind of stuff. Yeah, more keys are on my fingers, but I think I like this, and most games don't allow you to remap either, or a lot of games don't, I should say. Most of them do. Most of the ones I play do. But yeah, there it is, guys. That is a beautiful, beautiful board. I'm very happy with it. And this one here is one of the special ones that they made. This is one of the transparent caps. I actually have quite a few of those. I don't think they're... Oh yeah, they're up here. I ended up buying a few of them. So this is the set. This is also there's a WASD there. It also has a shine through sun in row 1. So I got that one there too. Bags 14 says, are any more novelty keys you can swap out for tabs, cap, and shift? Not on the novelties board. That's the problem with the novelties, is almost all the novelties are row 1 and then row 4, or there's a couple in row 4, but there just wasn't a lot in this. I looked everywhere to try to find the right keys in the sets that are the positions I liked, and they just did not have much of anything. Like, so tab I might be able to replace. Like, this is the BlockNet set that has like these symbols instead. Like I said, they're almost all of them are for R4. I think, yeah, because I used most of them on this Preonic board, so I don't really have a lot to choose from. It's mainly these two. Row 2 and row 3 are just, there's just nothing, or very little, which is disappointing, but to be expected. And I have, like I said, I have a whole other set of novelties that I could use, but I want to save that set and just not even open it until later. Once I feel like that's where I want to be, like that's the set that I want to use. Because I have, most of my sets are already in. I don't have anything that I'm really waiting on. I could replace shift, I could replace shift with one of these keys though. But escape, nope, no escape. It's a shame. Could have been so much better. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like having some of it that way, I guess. Because I could use this for shift. Yeah, I could use that for shift. But then I wouldn't have any other keys that match it. It would be the only one that had that. It'd look kind of weird, I think. I used most of these keys I used on this board, so that's why these ones have, there's a ton of those little dots and stuff on there. Okay, I think we're set. I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these keycaps away now. Cool. So I'm bringing these boards are all coming with me. I actually need to finish. I gotta put this back together. This is the Preonic that I put back together recently. I lubed this one up. And I did some other stuff with it. So this one I need to put back together with its wood bars, side bars for it, which I put somewhere in the studio. Put them in a bag and hand them to you. But I mean, I got a pretty nice set of boards that I'm going to be bringing to the meetup, so I'm pretty excited for that. I'm going to probably bring 6 or 7 boards with me, so that'll be cool. So I was going to do a resin casting as well. What do you think? Tedford's asking if I finished the resin end caps. I did make some, but none of them quite turned out how I wanted. I actually ended up throwing them away because they really didn't turn out how I wanted. But I ended up making some resin ones. But they're kind of funky. So... But they're, you know, they're alright. I think if I do a couple more things, then it'll look nice, but like this is one of the first ones I made. And this one needs to be fixed up quite a bit. Tedford says you can clean it up for me. What would you do? What would you do to clean up? Because actually, some of the problem is you can see here, it's actually, there's like tons of air holes and bubbles and stuff. There were problems with this particular sculpt, and I'm not sure what happened there with those. There was just a bunch of problems I was having with this particular resin, or this particular pour, and it actually picked up a bunch of weird dust and stuff that was left over from the previous, like when I had sanded the actual end caps down. So, yeah. There's a couple things that need to be fixed on it. So what are you going to do? What would you do, Ted? What would you do to clean this up? Because it would be nice to have it, because I mean it looks pretty cool. And this actually lights up orange, so I want to do these in orange. Because it just matches the whole... I want it to match the aesthetic. So it'd be nice if it matched correctly. It was orange as well. You have magical tools. Do you have like a... Because I have a sander, but I need to... The thing that I want to do with these, I want to polish these down to like a very shiny polish. And I've got some of it, but I'm missing like a few steps in between, because I think I go up to 300 and the next one I have up at 600. But yeah, that's what I want to do. Victor, the meetup is tomorrow. Okay, well, let's do some. Let's do a resin casting. Let me think of what I want to do with the resin, though. I was thinking to make. I'm gonna make a special set of caps that are specific to the Seattle meetup. So I got a couple things here. So this is my master mold for my tentacle keycaps. And this thing is a beast. It really did not need to be this big, but that's what I did. So I ended up wasting a bunch of silicone making it, but that's okay. That is totally fine. This mold will last quite a while. Yeah, Ted, I also have sandpaper, but I just am missing. I'm missing a few things. I was sanding it by hand and just, yeah, did not turn out fantastic, so. All right, Key of Night, go back to work. Thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna do some resin casting now, so that's gonna be fun. Let's get to that. All right, let's get my resin casting stuff ready. So I'm thinking of doing like blue, maybe blue and white. I think were the two colors that I was thinking of doing for this particular cast. Well, Ted, if you want to shine them up for me, feel free. But you know, I wanted to have them done by tomorrow, and that's no way that's going to happen. So blue and white, I think, is what we're going with today. But this particular white separates a lot, so I have to, every time I want to use it, I have to mix it. And I think I mixed it recently. So it should only need a little bit of mixing. Yeah, that looks good. And I don't think I've ever even used this blue. I don't remember. Oh, looks like I did. Onyx 1324, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We are working on, we're gonna do some resin casting now. We were doing a keyboard build earlier, but now it's resin time. Okay. So we're gonna need quite a bit of resin, I think. We will do, we're going to measure it in this. Need that. We need a syringe. That. We also need, our resin. And we need, we'll weigh it out. All right, Ted. Well, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I need to get my projects done as well. So I'm going to do this resin thing, and then that's pretty much it for the day. Then I got to get some other stuff done. All right. Let's go some weight here. We're going to weigh this out. We're going to put in, I'm going to say, I usually do this volumetrically, but it's not easy to do volumetric. Well, no, you know what? Let's say not on the weight, because I know how much I need visually. I don't know how much it weighs. So we can do it this way. So I actually need quite a bit of resin for this particular one, because of the fact that I'm going to be building those, doing another pull of the side caps for that particular board. So I need quite a bit. Usually I use these 2 little cups to measure it out for just the little, when I'm only doing the tentacles, but then if I'm doing this one too, I'm gonna need a lot. And then if I make more than I actually do need, then I can always just, I have a couple other things that I can cast, a couple other mold boxes I can use to cast from. So I'll just do that. I also need a belt to get the veins to show. Nice. Yeah, got my syringe out. All right, so let's say, I think if we go to 5 ounces, that's probably gonna be enough. But I'm gonna err on the safe side and go to, we're gonna take it to 3 ounces. Yeah. Or 3 ounces on each side, so we're gonna take it to 6. 6 ounces total. All right. So we got 1/2 done. So yeah, we're basically just mixing resin, or we're going to mix resin here soon. And what we end up doing is I just kind of separate these out, and then I'll mix them together. You want to mix your color in this. This is side B, and this is side A. You want to mix color into side B before you put it in the vacuum chamber. I'm actually doing 2 colors, so I'm gonna have to do 2 different mixes. But I will show you, well, we'll see. I might just mix it all together and then add the colors in, separate them 2 into their own thing, and then do the colors. It's not the ideal way of doing it, but it won't kill anything if I do it that way. Okay. Because I'm going to have 2 colors to play with, so I want to make sure that I get them both done the right way. Alright, so we're going to mix the 2 colors into this container, or into these 2 containers here. So we're going to mix them together in here, and then we're going to pour them into one of these cups. So actually, let's do it this way. Alright, make sure we're all good. Okay. And you want to make sure that you're all stirred, that you get everything out of the one side and stir it in very well. So we do it this way, and you kind of scrape the sides. There's a lot still in there. And there's a couple other things you can do with this too. So you mix it here, like this, in this container, making sure to scrape the sides. You want to scrape the sides and make sure all of that gets mixed in. Scrape the bottom too. Because there's still going to be stuff, this stuff is so viscous, there's going to be some that's stuck on the walls of the container. And so what I do to make sure when I do this is I usually pour more into one side than the other by just a tiny amount, so any that's stuck in there isn't going to affect the overall balance. But then you can also do this, and you pour it back into this container, and then you mix it there too. And that really helps to make sure that you have all of your both sides of your resin mixed well. So then we go here and we stir in this side. Then we're going to get this in the pressure in the vacuum chamber real quick. before we start, because once you start mixing those resins together, they start to solidify. And you have very limited time. This one has about 15 minutes at room temperature. So we got to make sure that everything is clean. Make sure that you're moving quickly. Pressure vacuum chamber is going. That guy can go in the garbage. Don't forget the taste test. Yes. You never want to forget to taste your resin. Make sure it tastes just right. No, don't taste your resin. I take that back. Don't taste your resin. Don't listen to him. Okay, it's looking good. All right, bubbles are coming out. We are good with that. So now we just gotta get our colors ready. I kind of want to make it a teal color, which means I need a tiny bit of green, but I don't need much. Just the absolute tiniest tiny bit of green. Like almost nothing. So it's going to be mostly white. So we want most of this be mixed into this side as white. And then there's going to be just this little bit that we use for our accent colors. All right. Fresh glove. Radiata snacks. What do I think about the Lego molding set? Yeah, I'm probably going to get some. They're good for some things. I think for what I do, it's probably not going to be really perfect for what I do because I sculpt my own. But for making fresh molds of like a previously existing keycap, they should be really good. So I'm pretty excited to see how well they work out. I think they're going to be really good for a lot of beginners. But I mean, even though I'm not a beginner, like I'm still gonna get some because it's a good idea. It's a good way to make a fresh new mold for something. For one keycap or two or three or whatever I end up doing. All right, so we're mixing this in. The white especially has a lot of issues. So I really try to make sure that I scrape as much as I can because the white will produce it basically it doesn't mix 100%, and so I find that I get a lot of what do you want to call it, residue in it, so that kind of bothers me. We actually just want a tiny bit of white in this, just the tiniest tiny bit, not much. If we want to give it a milky color, and then we use a little bit of green. Again, not much. And then our blue. We're going for like a teal color, which that's looking good. It needs a little more white. And I think a little more green. A little too much white. That's okay though. We just add the others. So, a little blue. And the green. Okay, there we go. And now we're ready. Let's get this mixed. We got to start moving quick on this because it's going to be starting to solidify real soon. So I'll cover these up. I kind of want a little more blue in this, just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay. Oh, wrong one. That's in the wrong container. There we go. Okay, let's get moving. So one of the things that I do now is I make sure to prep the stems on my molds by just kind of going in there and adding a little resin into the stem holes to kind of prep them, make sure that they are going to get, reduces the chance that I'm going to get a ton of air bubbles in there. I'm still going to get some, but it's not going to be as bad. Man, I freaking hate this syringe. I got this set of syringes that wasn't the usual brand I use, and it's pretty obvious that they are not as high quality. The other brand I use is like definitely like, it's a very well-known medical supply company, and the quality on them is outstanding compared to these crappy ones that I ended up buying. These were like considerably cheaper, of course, but I have so many issues with them that the cheapness of them just isn't even worth it. They don't move smoothly. They have a lot of issues with smoothness in general. You know, I'm still not entirely convinced by this blue. I want a little more. There we go. That's way better. That's a much nicer blue. Okay. That's better. Okay, good on that. Let's pull that out. Kind of doing something a little weird with this one, so I may have made too much resin. All right. These stems still need a little work. Most of the bubbles are gone. That's good. But I can feel the resin, this white resin is heating up. So we gotta move fast. It's starting to get viscous already. Oh yeah, it's almost about to set. I gotta move real quick now. Got almost no time. Ah, shit. Yep, there it goes. It's set. Fuck. Ah. Well, poop. Shoot, that's not gonna work. I gotta move even faster now. That's what I get for being indecisive about my colors. Damn it. It's not the end of the world. I can still salvage it. Maybe. Yeah, I think the space bars, or these aren't going to work. But I think these guys will be fine. I hate working fast. That's how you make mistakes. Okay, gonna turn the microphone off here while I pressurize. Yeah, I think about half of those are going to be unusable. Oh well, that's what I get for being indecisive about my coloring. I kind of knew I was pushing it. I was like, well, shoot, I'm running out of time, but I figured I'd be able to move faster than that. But that is okay. It's not the end of the world. I think that the tentacles will probably turn out okay. The white might be a little bubbly. But I'm going to be doing these as a giveaway. So, they might just end up being B stock anyway. So that's not a big deal. Okay, well, actually that's all I had planned to do today on stream. I kind of have to wait for this to set before I can pull those out. And there's not a lot of cleanup to do today, which is good. Just a few spots where the resin got on the desktop. But other than that, we are set, folks. I really hope to be able to see some of you guys at the Seattle meetup. I know that you know, a lot of you don't really live around here, so not going to be making it, but a few of you will be, and that's going to be cool. I'm going to have a great time, I'm sure, and I will be doing a stream, which I need to work on my PowerPoint for that stream. Hopefully I will, or not stream, talk, and hopefully I'll be able to stream the talk, but I don't really know what I'm going to have access to in terms of internet and capabilities, so I will get back to you on that. We'll talk about, we'll have some time to kind of go over a few things, and then, like on this talk or whatever, and then maybe we'll see some new faces. So, and if I can record it, I might just record it and then post it afterwards. But whatever I do, I end up trying to make a way for you guys to see my talk itself. So, well, anyway. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for hanging out and watching me make a terrible mistake with my resin. But hey, that's part of the process, right? I don't learn about how to do these things by just knowing how to do it. You have to make mistakes. And now I know. I just got to keep moving. I got to move faster. And not get distracted by, you know, how much color and stuff I need to put into it. But thanks for stopping by. You know, hang out in the chat or whatever if you want. Also, don't forget that I do have a Discord. So you can hit up the Discord and get with me there. So I will catch up with you probably sometime next week, and maybe I'll have a new board to build next week. I'm hoping I'll have a new board. All right, have a good day.